The Coach Curl podcast is brought to you by Think and Grow Business, the home of the Think and Grow Business Mastermind. If you're serious about growing your business, get serious and join a mastermind group today. Find out more at thinkandgrowbusiness.com.au.
Hey there, and welcome to episode 188 of today's Leader, the Coach Curl podcast. And today I share the broadcast with the amazing Nathanael Zurbrugg. Now, Nathanael has an incredible story to tell. From an incurable chronic illness and medical prognosis, he should be dead 6 times. He's now an entrepreneur, a global inspirational speaker, and a coach. Now, Nathanael is the founder and the CEO of the for-profit business Unlimit You, and soon to be non-profit organisation Live Life to the Fullest. He's already a multi-award winning global inspirational speaker. He's a certified coach and a certified disc consultant whose sole aim and purpose is to impact and inspire people with a strategy that he's developed called the 4 Steps to Unlimit Your Life. And through his strategy, he's able to help people create a victorious mindset. I really like that concept. Victorious mindset that paths them or maps their way to their purpose, their significance, and expand unlimited potential and be their greatest inspiration. Nathanael is chronically ill for 30 years. He's been through 3 failed kidney transplants. He's had over 4,300 or 4,500, I think is the latest count, dialysis treatments, had 3 lung infections, and by medical predictions, as I said a little bit earlier, he should have been dead 6 times by now. It was an absolute pleasure to speak with Nathanael as he shares his method of building this victorious mindset. And after this short notice, it's my pleasure to bring you Nathanael Zurbrugg.
Way to go, guys. Way to go. Keep it going. Good job, guys. All right, Paul. I see you. Finish on. Coach Curl.
And we've got a special treat for you today on today's Leaders podcast. We've got a very special guest from over there in the cold confines of Europe and I believe Switzerland. We've got Nathanael Zurbrugg. Welcome to today's Leader podcast, Nathanael.
Hey, everyone. So glad to be here. I'm so excited for the time and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Now, Nathanael, I've been reading your backstory. I've been reading all about the story, the life that you've led. And, you know, it's quite an amazing story when you get a lot of headlines that say he should be dead 6 times. So do you want to share a little bit of your story with our listeners today?
Absolutely. I would love to. So yeah, as you said already, I should have been dead 6 times by now. And the reason for that is I was basically diagnosed with an incurable chronic illness when I was 1 year old. That means I lost my own kidneys where I had to start life-saving treatment. I was only 3 years old when after a 2-week coma, my parents come to visit me and the doctors told them, hey, there's nothing else we can do. And my parents basically had to terminate my life. And so there I was. My parents had to basically medically seen to let me go. But then by the time where the doctors turned off all the machines that I was basically living on, I suddenly started to talk again.
Wow.
And for me, yeah, it's really, really amazing. For me personally, that's a big miracle. Anyhow, and even it was so intense because my brain was actually supposed to not working anymore during that coma time. So I come back to life, recovered. However, I lost later on 80% of my hearing because of side effect of medications. I continued with constantly dialysis treatment, which I had to do 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Until I was 5 years old, where I had my first kidney transplant, which a little hope come up, which means as soon as I had a kidney, there was no dialysis treatment needed, and my body basically started to work again properly. But that kidney only lasted for 24 hours.
Wow.
Then it continued. I had another kidney with 8 years old for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And that was basically one of the times where I realized, okay, there's basically another life beside hospital.
Yeah.
Which meant, like, I didn't have to go to the life-saving treatment anymore 3 times a week. I could eat by myself. I could leave out hobbies. I could go to school, and I realized, okay, this is my dream life.
Yeah.
2.5 years later, I fell into deep depression because I lost the kidney again. And the depression was so strong that for 2 weeks, I was on my couch, not speaking anything, not moving anything, not eating anything. And all I was thinking about was like taking my own life.
Wow.
I was really fortunate to have parents that were realizing there was something going on, and they got help from professionals, which helped us to regain, or especially me, regain emotional, psychological, and mental strength.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, well, I have to keep going because I cannot take the short way, taking my own life. It somehow needs to work with going back to dialysis, living my dream life. And it continued like that until I had my third kidney with 11 years old.
Wow.
This was a special time because I realized I have a kidney now, but I realized my life is still not fulfilled.
Yeah.
I realized, like, that health, like, you can have the best health, you can have anything in this world, but there's something missing. And so I realized that, and I was getting on a journey to find out, like, what's missing and what's needing. And then I lost a kidney again later on, but this time I was filled with so much more hope and so much more peace and strength to realize life can go on even without a kidney. And there could be something that later on can be used to help people. And I was 11 years old when I lost a kidney. And then until up to age 15, I had a lot of, let's say between age 1 and 15, I had about 40 operations, 4,500, 4,500 life-saving treatment. But until today, I have 4,500 life-saving treatment, which means 3 times a week, basically depending on that in order to survive. I say 6 times I should have been dead. And the interesting thing was, like, from age 15 on, everything becomes stable in my health.
Okay. Yeah.
I still have to go to dialysis treatment, but I started to realize, well, okay, even I'm kind of limited with my dialysis. I started to travel. I went to Australia for International Leadership College. I started my own business, and here I am today with 31 years old, living life as big as never before, with being an inspirational speaker. And that's what I love to do, to inspire people to gain a victorious mindset.
You've got, and that's an amazing story, and I'm fascinated by it because, you know, you're a member of the John Maxwell team, as am I. I'm a member of the John Maxwell team, and we've all been impacted by the values-based leadership that John teaches. You had the opportunity to speak in front of 3,500 coaches back there in 2019 and shared your story. And I find it inspirational that someone that's been through your journey is now standing tall, standing straight on stage and inspiring others to lead their best sort of a life. So we see in the world today a lot of people talking about resilience and persistence, and you're a living, breathing example of that, because you had to be resilient and you had to persist to simply live. And I congratulate you on that. That's just an amazing story. And to think that you're now sharing the stage and podcast platforms to share your story to inspire people is just fantastic. So absolutely well done. Absolutely. I'm fascinated, however. I'm really fascinated to understand from you your view of failure. So a lot of people, as we know in life, fail and fall over and stop doing what it is that they should or could be doing. They stop living their purpose. They stop living their dream. How do you view failure?
I think for me it was it's still a journey of finding out who I really are. I think the deeper we go with ourselves, the more we know how we can persist, or how we can be resistant to, let me say, in a surroundings where maybe the people tell you, it's not going to work, and it's all that stuff. And what I realized, like I've been told many times, that I will never be able to walk, talk, or amount for anything.
Yeah.
At the same time, I realized, well, it's actually, if I could do this, but somebody else tells me that, then either one of them is true. So I have to find out by myself what is possible, or who am I in that I can do that. And it sounds maybe a little bit complicated, but for me, it's always really digging deeper and thinking about what are my strengths, what are my passions, and what are my values, and how I can what does that look like for me to navigate in those, let's say, maybe in that system to persist. And for example, I had back in 2018, 2018, I think. Yeah. 2018. I was on a plane going back from the John Maxwell certification conference, and I had done a workshop with Paul and Roddy, which was about Think and Grow Rich, and something was amazing, because why I tell you that story is because the homework was basically write down everything what you want to see, have, or do in your life. And so I took the homework in the plane, because so for me, example, up in the cloud is the best time to see the unlimited view and to dream big. And I was writing down everything what I wanted to achieve and be or do or have, and I come to a point with my health, and so I talked about I want to do something crazy on my 30th birthday, and all of a sudden I talked about, what about I run 30 kilometers on my 30th birthday?
Okay.
the first thought that come to my mind was all the noises that I once heard. You are not able to walk and all that. But by the time I was already running, I was already a kind of a runner, which maybe I like to run to really shake off my hair at times. But 30 kilometers was something else that was just seemed to be impossible. And I didn't know if that would be work with my organs, with my lungs, with my body. But I just thought like, well, let's try. Why not try it? And for 2-3 months, I was preparing myself in my head, just running that run. And all the time I was saying myself, hey, I can do it. I have a strong identity. I am a runner. I can do that and this. And so on the 19th November of 2018, I ran the 30-kilometer run. And it was just so I realized once more at the time that we don't need to. Nobody has a right to tell us what we are not or what we are not able to do. The only person, whether it's in leadership, in business, or whether you are at home leading people, you have the responsibility and you have the authority over yourself, over your identity, to tell you what you can do, what you can have, and who you can be. And this is probably the most powerful what we can navigate. Like everything, words have power, speaking words over us and over our identity. And we unfortunately are automatically drawn to the negativity. We all have somehow the negative side of our personality that saying, we can't do it because we can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist yet. And we can do it. And this is one of the most powerful tool that I'm using or that I want to share with you, with your listeners. And I really want to encourage you at that point to say like, I believe in yourself. Like, surround yourself with people that believe in you, that see what you are capable of, and not focusing on what is not existing yet.
Absolutely. So it almost sounds like failure is not a part of your vocabulary. It's not in the dictionary. If you've got that belief, it's within your capabilities, you're going to have a crack at it. And I think that's a really, really important message. Now, you do work now with entrepreneurs, you work with leaders around a concept that I actually really love, victorious mindset, the victorious mindset. Do you want to talk me through where that came from and then share those 4 steps that you were talking about, the 4 steps to a victorious mindset?
Yeah, sure. So one step I already talked about is like really digging deeper, discovering who you are. The second step is what I believe is, so like, who am I? When I know who am I, I'm more comfortable, or I'm more, how do you express that? More like I'm more on a point to wanting to give something to the world. So we all have something to give. We all have something unique to give. And the second step is basically, what am I here for? Like we all have, as I say, we have unique strengths, values, and passions, and those 3 things already again gives a fourth step of something unique that just we have. But I think before we can give, we have to recognize that we need to have the awareness that we can give. And having the awareness to give is, for me, basically the only way, or should I say, one of the ways to really dig deeper to who am I, because John Maxwell say, you cannot give what you don't have.
Yeah.
So if I don't know my values, passion, and my strengths, so I cannot give something. Same with the money. If I don't have money, I cannot give money, and I need to build up the awareness how I can get the money, or where are my strengths, where my passion and value, and that's the second step. What am I here for? And that's so powerful. I think that's where the fulfillment starts. That's where when we start to give, to help people. And I always say, like, it hasn't to be everyone. It has to be someone specific or a group of specific people that really is that you are able to give what they need. And I think that's so powerful. And the third step that I want to talk about is from the who am I and what I'm here for, to create the unlimited dream. And what I love when we have a victorious mindset, there are basically no limitations, which means we can switch victory. We can maybe what has been lost, we can turn it into victory. Maybe what has gone wrong in the past, we can turn it into victory. Maybe as I have experienced in my story, there were so many things that seemed to be hopeless, but somehow I was fortunate to turn it into a victorious life. And I want to really encourage you. Hey, what do you dream? Like, for a moment, if you could have a victorious mindset, what would your dream look like? Or where would you see you? What would you have? Or who you want to be in the future? And that's a powerful tool we have in our life, because it's basically an endless journey. And the fourth step is it's great to dream, but we have to step out. We have to step out into that dream of, maybe when we have a dream, things don't see as real. Like we see nothing there yet. And it takes, I call it faith. It takes faith to step out, to see, to step into something that we cannot see yet, or that we don't have yet, or that we are not yet. And so I really want to encourage you, whether you're in business, in general, in leadership, at home, take a moment to just write down everything that could be possible in your life, and remove your obstacles, remove your pain, remove your current situation for a moment. And resilience and persistence, how I learn, comes along the way. And nobody is born with it. Nobody is like, some might have the skill or the ability to have it more than others, but for everyone there is an opportunity to push through. And it might be painful, but it's also really worth. And really fulfillment. The full fulfillment comes at the point where you can create your life in terms of what you were dreaming of, and in terms of how you feel satisfied with yourself, with your passion, strength, and value, how this all aligns with each other. And if that makes sense.
Oh, it certainly does. So So the 4 steps to victorious mindset: discover yourself. What am I here for? Create an unlimited dream, and then step into that dream with faith and belief, and go out and just get it done. I love it. I love it, Nathaniel. So, and it's so true. And it's interesting that you were talking about coming back from the JMT after doing the day with Roddy and Paul. And for the listeners, that's Paul Martinelli and Roddy Galbraith from the faculty from the John Maxwell team. And you were going through some of the learnings out of Think and Grow Rich, because one of my big learnings that I had, and it wasn't after a JMT event, I was reading another Napoleon Hill book, and the name just escapes me at the moment. But I was just that deeply engrossed in that book, and it was talking about drifting through life, and I was just engrossed. And because you really have nowhere to go, and you are above the sky, and you are seeing these no limits. And it really just opened my eyes in a couple of areas in my life at that particular time where, hey, I was drifting through life. And it was reading that in that sort of an environment that really shook me to get me through and change some of those habits that I'd fallen into. So I can certainly, I really reconciled with that particular part of your story, because planes can be an amazing place for some self-awareness, can't it? So, absolutely. So, moving forward for yourself, what is your vision now for you? What's the big picture? What's the ultimate goal? What do you see yourself doing? You're talking about this creation of the unlimited dream and stepping into it. So, what's the unlimited dream for you, Nathaniel?
I have a lot of dreams and a lot of unlimited. I think so. When it comes to health, is I really see myself having 2 kidneys again that will work for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because it's just slowly, and I want to be a little bit being a bit vulnerable now. Because when you have been chronic ill for 30 years and been constantly for 26 years on dialysis 3 times a week, it makes you kind of tired to fight.
Yeah.
And the body gets weaker, the mental state gets weaker as well. And I really really see myself being healed to, I call it healed to just live out to travel the world, to speak to people, to speak to billions of people, to inspire them, to not living an average life. That's only for the health part. Business-wise, so I'm basically leading a business which is called Unlimit You, which I want to really help people, mentoring them to really dig deeper into themselves and create a victorious mindset and help them along the journey of living out their dreams. That can be anything from health to business to building a family. Financially, I really love to be generous, and so 2 years ago, or probably 4 years now already, I had that vision and that dream of taking a part of my story, which is basically being approximately half of my life in the hospital, to help people in the slums to build a hospitals. And I have that dream of building hospital in areas where people have no medical access, because I was born, or we here in the Western world are fortunate to be born in a financial improvable environment, and I believe that we have the responsibility to help those who are less fortunate.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, just picture it. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't have the exact plan yet, but as I always do with a dream, I put it on my bedroom wall,
Yeah.
and thinking about it or every now and then. And yeah, that are some of my dreams, and as well building a family, and getting financially really out of the rat race.
Yeah.
And a lot of dreams are out there. Yeah.
I can certainly see that, and they're all absolutely worthwhile. So, to be a dream that's bigger than each and every one of us is the one that we should be chasing, and that absolutely purpose-driven life about creation of some health and some hospitals for those less fortunate. Once again, I just take my hat off to you, Nathanael. That is just awesome. And looking at some of your stats, 6 times near death, 4,500 treatments, and to be sitting here talking with you, and you've got this wonderful smile on your face, and you've got that gleam in your eyes that you're going to make some stuff happen. I just think that's incredible, and that's amazing. So absolutely inspiring talking with you today. How can people make contact with you? So if anyone was interested in hearing your story, whether it was a business conversation or whether it was just some one-on-ones, I know you do some one-on-one coaching and you do some speaking. How can people get in contact with you if they are interested?
Sorry, say again.
So how can people make contact with you? So what's your website?
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. So my business website is unlimitedyou.co.
Yeah.
Or a little bit the harder one is nathanaelzurbrugg.com.
Okay.
So my personal website or my business website, you can contact me anytime if you want to, and I would love to get in touch with you. And
you're also on Facebook and LinkedIn?
Yeah, so LinkedIn is first and last name, Nathanael Zurbrugg, and Facebook is Nathanael Zurbrugg, like the without UE, but maybe we can put it in the...
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes, all those links so people can make contact with you. So is there anything else that... Is there anything else that we've missed talking about that you just want to share before we sign off?
If you want to get more into the 4 steps of getting a victorious mindset, I got for you a free ebook on both of my websites, and you can download it. You can already get through the process. It's not a big thing to do, but it's a really powerful thing that could help you even go deeper with yourself. And if you're still figuring out what you're here for, it's also something for you. Or whether you're struggling right now with living out your dream, or you don't have a dream yet that you want to take to the next level, I think that ebook could be for you, and happy to help you whenever I can.
Excellent. Nathanael, thank you very much for your time today. It's been a pleasure talking with you on today's Leaders podcast. And I hope that we can maintain contact and we can catch up over time to tune in and check in and see how you're going. But thank you very much for your time. It's been much appreciated.
Thank you. I appreciate your time and having me here. Thank you.
Join the group of people impacted by seriously simple stuff to get you unstuck. The first book by Tony Coach Curl. Available at Amazon, Tony's Simple Stuff provides the tool for people to master your life and aspirations. 20% of every book sold supports Carter's cause.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was an inspiring conversation from Nathanael, really sharing parts of his life, that journey that he's had, that chronic illness that he's been suffering, and 30 kilometres at the age of 30 with a busted and broken body. I mean, I hope you really took away some key takeaways. So some of my key takeaways really revolved around the concept that he talked about, the 4 steps to a victorious mindset. And there's so much value in what Nathanael was sharing. You know, the first thing obviously is to discover yourself. And that is so important because there's so many people that we know that don't really know themselves. They know who they're meant to be or what they're seen to be, but they don't necessarily have taken the time to have discovered necessarily who they are. And I think that that's an incredible first step for any sort of a program. And you can see with Nathanael's program, the 4 steps to a victorious mindset, that stands front and center. Asking ourselves, what am I here for? To bring that added awareness in. It helps us drive fulfillment, significance in our lives. Create that unlimited dream. Why limit yourself? We need to be mindful here. This is about a dream in relation to your potential. It's not a dream or a fantasy that you may have, but it is about creating a dream that will maximize the potential that you have, the potential that you've been born with, the potential for you to be the best leader, the best person, the best husband, the best son that you can be. So that's about being unlimited in our desire to reach that. And then stepping into that dream. It's all about action, and we know that. Action is what it takes, and we've got to be able to step into it, and step into it with a faith and a belief that we can do it, that real deep-seated belief in and around who we are. So, fantastic conversation. I hope you took some real key takeaways. Interviews on Today's Leader will become more of a thing. We will be interviewing some really great, some inspiring people around. So if you know someone that would be keen to jump on Today's Leader, reach out and let them know. We're now interviewing our people on Today's Leader, the Coach Girl podcast. We'll also be sharing mentoring sessions, and we'll also be sharing lessons from life. So we're really ramping up what we do with this particular podcast. We've seen some real significant improvement in and around our listener and our feedback scenarios. So we are going to have some real structure. We'll be doing masterminds through a mentoring session on a Monday. We'll be doing a life's lesson midweek, and then of course we'll be interspersing that with interviews from great guests like Nathanael that we had today. Thanks for listening to the episode today, episode 188 of the Coach Curl Today's Leader podcast. In today's disruptive world, good leadership skills will always stand you in good stead. And that's why I'd like to showcase the work of our sponsors, both Think and Grow Business and the Coach Curl Academy. Think and Grow Business is the home of the Think and Grow Business Mastermind, where we focus on personal, professional, and business growth, and you can book in your free 30-minute discovery call simply by going to thinkandgrowbusiness.com.au. The Coach Girl Academy is our online academy program. It's our online leadership, business and mindset program with over 75 programs to help build a better you. And you can join for just $1 for the first month. The academy that will equip you to enhance your mindset, your business leadership, and it's all available over there at thecoachcurlacademy.com. You are standing stronger, braver, and wiser. Don't ever forget the golden rule. Yes, you know what that is. Don't be an arsehole. It's Coach Curl signing off. I'll see you next time.